So, Joe, you joined City in 2006. You know, it's a hell of a long time ago. How would you sum up your time at this football club?
It's a difficult question. There's been so many chapters to it, so many changes. You know, it feels like I've joined a different club 3 or 4 times, being out on loan. So it's been a fantastic experience. You know, I've grown a lot. I came here 19. You know, I'm going to leave 31, so that's a long time. You know, it's hard to look at yourself, but I certainly feel a lot of love and a lot of appreciation. And you know, I've always enjoyed the Man City fans. You know, I came to Manchester City as a Shrewsbury Town player, as a kid from Shrewsbury, and it was, you know, the pinnacle for me to be at this club. And that was before, you know, they were challenging for titles and challenging for leagues. It was huge. As someone who I think they saw in me someone who was just going to try his best and try and get the best out of whatever he had. And I'd like to think that's how I've been appreciated, and I wouldn't have been able to do the things I did if I wasn't embraced how I have been. So I'm happy to have given, you know, the fans some great memories, and hopefully I'll be thought of well when I do leave.
Okay, so let's start with this first clip. This is in 2006, of course, and this is your debut against Sheffield United. Weaver was injured.
Yeah.
You came in and keep a clean sheet. So tell me what it was like, because I looked before, there was 42,000 people in the stadium that day, and that's a big jump up from kind of what you were used to at that point. How did it feel?
Yeah, it was strange because, you know, at the time I was kind of playing 1-2. I was playing number 3 when I arrived, and then they got rid of JMO and signed Isaacson, and he came in injured. So I was on the bench for Weaves, who's a fantastic guy and, you know, also a really important guy in Man City's history. I didn't even know he was injured. He was a bit of a warrior. He tried to get through things best he could, but he actually rung me on the morning of the game and said, "Get yourself ready, you're going to play." And I was like, "Oh my God." I don't know if I was ready for it, but then I just did what I usually do and went and got on with it. The lads were fantastic. It was a good bunch. They looked after me, and, you know, we got through the game.
The next clip that I selected was Tottenham 2010. So you'd been off to Birmingham, hadn't you? And you'd done so well on loan.
Yeah.
How important was that loan move for you, do you think, in sort of establishing yourself as a genuine Premier League starter?
It was important. I'd played a lot of football before it. I'd played you know, 50 games in the Premier League for City under Sven. Sven gave me a really good run in the team. And then Mark Hughes came in, and as it seems to be in my career, it seems like a manager either feels strongly towards me one way or another. And, you know, he brought Shea in, and I needed to go out and play, and I thought that was the end of my Man City career there, to be honest. I literally sorted it 2 days after the season finished, because I wanted to be somewhere and be somewhere organised and sorted, and Alex gave me the opportunity, Birmingham coming up, and I just put my heart and soul into that. I didn't even think about Manchester City or anything. I was a Birmingham player. Roberto came in, and, you know, he saw something in me, and I'll be forever grateful for that. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but he said, "Listen, I want you to come back pre-season, and I want to see you more closely." And then I kind of stayed in the team from there.
I mean, this game, you were absolutely incredible. I mean, there were saves from Defoe, Huddleston, Benoit, Asuakoto. Can you remember those, and do you have a particular favourite from this game that really stand out to you?
I made an early one off JD, off Jermaine Defoe. He kind of did what he does best and just hooked one round the corner, and it was a big save. And I knew it was a big moment. Like, I knew this was really important. It was a huge game for me, and I'm really pleased with how it went. I just wish if we'd have won, it would have been even more special. For
a lot of the City fans, the semi-final win against United was the moment that they started to believe actually this takeover and this new dawn might actually end up paying dividends. Was there a similar feeling with the players? Did that feel like a significant game, that win against United?
This was one of the most important wins, I think, and one of the best atmospheres I've ever played in. I've played a lot of times for England at Wembley, and it's hard. It's hard for the fans to make it perfect and hard to make. But this was literally blue and red divide. They were by far, obviously historically, the strongest team in Manchester. You know, end of. And if we ever beat them, it was more down to Man United not playing particularly well. But now there was a real opportunity for us to make a statement. You know, we hadn't won a trophy for 35 years, and that was, you know, obviously their kind of their little joke towards us. So this game was huge, and you know, to get the 1-0, there was another game that this was probably one of the most important wins for me. And then there was another game, I think it was when we sealed Champions League this year as well. I think we beat Tottenham 1-0 at home.
Yeah.
Those were massive. All the great things that came after that, I think, will be down to those kind of results.
And then the final against Stoke, there's a real outpouring of emotion at the full-time whistle, obviously, because his 35 years of not winning a trophy have ended. Are you aware, in moments like that, of kind of the level of history and significance that you've created for a football club?
I think we were, and I think it was hard to take in. You know, if I could do the celebrations again, I would. You know, my family were kind of shaking me. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of dumbfounded. It's a moment, you know, when you work so hard for something and it does actually come off. I don't think you quite know what to do. It was just happy. It was just happy. It was nothing more. There was nothing other than happiness, and that's a really nice thing to be a part of.
And Mancini, I remember after this, he was interviewed on the pitch and he said, "This is for all the supporters," and he had a great relationship with the fans. What was he like to work with? I mean, you mentioned before you'll forever be indebted to him for showing all that faith in you, but what was it like to work with him? Because he was, you know, not your usual character. No, he was
supercharged. He was getting what he wanted. He put his team out to win the game, and I thought, if I really want to give a lot of credit, it was down to the people that he put out on the pitch. We were really close. We were a really close-knit group. We had a way of winning, and we stuck to it by playing good football, but also being really tight together. So I thought he assembled a really good squad in something that's not easy to do. You know, you can throw money around, by all means throw it around, but it doesn't actually mean you're going to get results. So the players he picked and brought in, unbelievable. You know, a couple of them are still here now, and you know, that's credit to him.
The 6-1 against United, and the reason I chose this again, similar as the semi-final, this again was a moment where the City fans were kind of like, right, we can actually be title contenders. You know, just kind of explain to us what the feeling around the club was after a result of that magnitude.
It was crazy because you don't really see, you know, you can beat Man United, but you can't usually do things like that. We were just relentless. It was just relentless what we were doing. You know, they barely got near our goal, even with 11, and it was a huge result. They had they had a super team. I think to go out there, you know, you see on the badge there, they're Premier League champions the year before. I think we showed our strength in depth. You know, I think Edin came on and got 2, and he was only on about 15 minutes. David Silva, I remember his pass to Edin. You know, it was just moments of absolute brilliance, all-round brilliance, and it was great to be a part of. Next
clip is just the celebrations from 2012 after Aguero and the trophy lift. There is a moment of you, arms out wide, running, and then the moment with Gael Clichy. I mean, they're kind of images that are going to be remembered at this football club forever, aren't they?
That was a crazy day, a really emotional day, and one maybe we weren't particularly prepared for. You know, we expected professionally to do a job that day, and you know, you just didn't expect the whole drama to unfold how it did. And I spent the whole second half, probably the last 40 minutes at least, of just in disbelief, and it was a really low point. It was really low because there was nothing I could do to affect what was going on at the other end. You know, the guys, we weren't playing badly, we just couldn't score, and it was over. You know, and I think if it hadn't happened then, it wouldn't have been as easy to do again. You know, you never know in hindsight, but that was such a low moment. And then, you know, Edin scored, and I was almost angry, like, oh, we don't need to go that close. And then the feeling when Sergio did score was a surreal moment. I didn't even know that, you know, I did what I did, and I don't know how I would have stopped. So it's a good job Gael was there, because I needed someone to embrace. Otherwise, I'd have probably been lapping the pitch now.
If you look at these celebrations now, do you remember any of this, or is it literally just a blur?
No, this was not easy. This was a blur for me. Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. I really didn't. I was trying to keep cool, but I was also trying to enjoy it. You know, I think with the emotion of the day and 3 sips of champagne, I was probably wasn't in control of what I was doing.
And then obviously the next clip is actually lifting that title. Did that in any way feel sweeter, the second one, or can the first one never be topped, or are they just all different?
No, that felt really good. You know, myself personally, I'd had a couple of games out of the team. Manuel took me out in about October and a few weeks out of the team. So I really had to kind of dig deep and stop riding that wave and kind of give myself a slap during that season and got back to where I wanted to be. And I was really pleased to play an important role, and you know, winning titles is such a great feeling, and you know, something that I'll never get bored of. And
then the last clip is a defeat, actually, but it was away at Barcelona. This, for me, I remember being there that evening and just thinking I'd never seen anything quite like it from a goalkeeper. Do you think, I mean, I personally think this is better than the Dortmund game. Which one do you think in terms of your own personal performance? I don't know. It was nice to do it. You know, it was a round of 16 match. Yeah. And we were in it. You know, that was the important thing. I wanted to keep us in the tie as much as I could because, you know, Sergio had a penalty. I remember Ter Stegen saved a penalty off Sergio that really, really could have put us. He had a chance of beating one of the best teams to ever, you know, walk the planet. And I just loved it. You know, new camp. I had a couple of my pals watching the game. The City fans up in the gods. You go there at that time, probably not so much this time now. I think if City go there now, they go there believing they could win, but we still were at that moment quite hopeful that we could get a result and just try my best for the team and put myself on the line. You know, the saves that I like to make. I like to be big and strong and make people try and score past me, and it came off for me that night. And I just wish it was a result that meant we got through. The thing about this one as well is it almost ended up being a personal duel between you and Messi, didn't it? You know, yeah. A lot of the saves you made were from him, the greatest player to ever play the game. Does that elevate a performance, do you think, when you're denying somebody of that unbelievable quality? I think it does. You know, you can't. There's no two ways. I've played against him a lot of times, and I've played against some really, really, really good players who I think, you know, without him would be classed as the world's best players. You know, the likes of Ronaldo or even Neymar to that level now, and even Hazard on his day. But this guy was just another level, and he didn't have a bad game. He was at his, you know, he was really playing well, and it's just a joy. It was an absolute joy for me to be involved in a battle like that. You know, I don't take things too seriously, and I'm fully aware of who I am and where I'm from and the opportunities that I'm getting. So to be there was one, and then to be involved in something like that was nice. It was good to be part of. So what about the remainder of your career now, Joe? You obviously, what do you think's left for you, and what you're hopeful that you can achieve? I think there's loads left for me. You know, I'm 31, but I feel young, I feel fresh. I've been really lucky with injuries and things like that. You know, it's not worked for me here in the last couple of years, but that's fine. You know, that's football. You know, I've shown that I'm willing to go out and fight and willing to go and give my all for anyone who will give me the opportunity to play for them. So I just want to build up another relationship with a new club. You know, it'll never die with what I've got here, but I think we can all shake hands and move on. The club will keep moving forward, and I'll keep being happy, and in years to come I'd imagine I'll be coming to watch and still be a part of the club, but that's football-wise, that's gone for me now. I want to give my all to someone else, yeah, and try and give them some big performances and some big memories. Well, I think I speak for every City fan when I say that you've played a massive role in getting us where we are today, and we just want to thank you very much for everything that you've done. No, it's a pleasure, and I want to thank you guys as well. You've been better than I could ever imagine towards me, and I appreciate it. Fantastic. Thanks, mate.